Thank you, Steve, for your kind introduction, and good morning, everyone. I really feel privileged on behalf of my colleagues at Handelsbanken to help open up this important conference focusing on responsible banking. We have run our bank for many decades on values of placing trust in the individual, taking a long-term view in everything we do, and showing responsibility to the communities we serve. So responsible banking really is a theme close to our heart at Handelsbanken, and I believe to the purpose of banking in general. The 21st century hasn't exactly been a quiet time for our industry. The irresponsible culture and activities that led to the global financial crisis have been discussed and analyzed every which way since. The UK financial regulators have sought to put lessons into practice backed up by public anger and political consensus. Despite public efforts to improve and chart a new purpose-led course, banks and its employees have remained firmly in the doghouse ever since. The coronavirus pandemic, however horrible and devastating it has been, has provided a chance for our industry to show we can be an asset within society, particularly in time of need, helping prop up the economy, protecting livelihoods, and ease financial burden on customers. Quite a contrast to 20 years ago. As a bank that steered clear of the toxic behavior at the beginning of the millennium, this approach isn't new to us at Handelsbanken. We always put our customers at the center of everything we do, and we pride ourselves on being a relationship-driven bank where trust and respect forms part of our everyday core values. As a responsible member of society, we very much welcome this positive change in the wider banking industry, especially for two reasons. Firstly, it should be clear that we all benefit when banking in general has a good name. Trust will always be the lifeblood of banking, whoever the counterparty and whatever the matter under discussion. We all need to attract the very best talent into our sector with strong moral beliefs and from a diverse base of the population. I'm sure all of us worry about the value our work brings to society, as well as the values we are able to bring to our work. And we also care about how we are perceived by our peers. Secondly, there is only so much that one bank can do on its own to help address the many different challenges of our age. From climate change to infrastructure, social inequalities to economic growth. The task requires all willing hands on deck. In many areas, we need to work in partnership to accelerate progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals and responsible banking principle underpinning UN initiatives that we are all committed to. Now, there are some who may still question what business a bank, as a commercial entity with responsibility to its shareholders, has in taking on these societal challenges. In an essay for the Institute, I noted that it was only fairly recently that banks' perceived role in society was restricted to the purely economic, deploying capital, managing risk, creating shareholder value, creating jobs, and paying taxes. But there's no doubt in my mind that this narrow view has over recent years been widening to take in social goods such as equality, diversity and inclusion, human rights in the supply chain, environmental footprint, and combating financial crime. This widening of scope is, of course, not unique to banks, but applies across all public or private sector organizations. Society's expectations have shifted considerably, and I believe the depth, length, and universal impact of the coronavirus crisis has served to consolidate this momentum. What is different about banks is the breadth of influence we have over developments out there in the real economy. And this is where I believe the next major widening in society's understanding of banks' value will come from. Our ability to work closely with our customers, suppliers, policymakers, and professional networks to steer a collective focus, draw the right networks and resources together, and drive the kind of outcomes our communities are looking for. Though still early days, we are already seeing this when it comes to climate change. Banks have a particular role to play towards the collective endeavor in supporting society's transition to net zero emissions. Our own long-term approach to local relationship banking means that we truly know and understand our customers and are trusted by them. We are therefore well prepared to hold these kind of conversations and to support them through their own net zero transitions. We are also proud members of the UN initiative Net Zero Banking Alliance, as well as Bankers for Net Zero here in the UK. And we have committed ourselves to reach net zero emissions by 2040 at the latest. An ambitious target that include not only emission from our own operations, but also those linked to lending, leasing, and investments. I claim no special knowledge of the work going on in other banks, but from what I see, this important work appears to be well underway across the sector. However, underpinning all of this and how effectively and consistently it can be delivered by a bank over the longer term is the culture of that organization. It is often said that culture must come from the top. This may indeed be true, but at least in my experience, for a culture to really endure and take flight, it needs to be owned, fed, and nurtured by everyone in the organization. It can't just be trained in and left to take hold, nor will it be successful purely through leadership alone. I mentioned earlier that trust and respect are core parts of our values. Another fundamental part of our culture is empowerment. We very much believe that people are naturally motivated to do good things well, and people do not tend to wake up in the morning saying to themselves, "Today I will take casual decisions," or "Today I will do a sloppy work." Such things only tend to happen when people do not feel trusted, accountable, free, or supported. Our business model is very much shaped to promote this empowerment. Our local branches, for instance, are empowered to take the majority of decisions relating to their customers, as they, of course, know them best. And we encourage our colleagues throughout the bank to speak up and challenge if they see something they think can be improved. By doing so, we all share the responsibility to strive to be a better bank tomorrow than we were yesterday. Our industry has embarked on a vital journey since the global financial crisis. Through the lens of the pandemic, the public has begun to recognize the changing culture in our sector and the social value banks are able to provide. Climate change is the next and greatest test yet of our ability to work in partnership to deliver decisive environmental and social impact. It will also create a template for collaborating with stakeholders to address all manner of ESG issues as they evolve. But culture is key to lasting success in all of this. And we all know that when it comes to embedding a resilient, responsible culture, the work is never done. So thank you again, Steve, Simon Thompson, and to the Institute for the opportunity to share these thoughts. And I wish you all a successful and productive conference. Thank you.